My parents were together for as long as I've been alive. I'm 17 now. My little brother is 11. We used to joke that our family was boring in the best way. No big fights, no slammed doors, just routines. Saturday morning pancakes, Dad's cheesy jokes, Mom's overpacked school lunches. It wasn't perfect, but it felt solid, like we were wrapped in bubble wrap, protected from the kind of family chaos my friends talked about. And maybe that's why what happened broke something in me I still don't know how to name. Because the worst part of watching a family fall apart is realizing it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in whispers.
I think adults underestimate how much kids feel. They think if they whisper or talk in code, we won't notice. But we do. Mom started checking her phone more during dinner. Dad smiled a little less. They didn't fight. They just stopped talking. The silence felt loud, like walking into a room where someone had just been crying, but everything was dry. I remember once I spilled orange juice. Normally, Mom would sigh and hand me a towel. That day, she just stared at the mess, like she wasn't in the room. I cleaned it up myself, and for some reason, I felt ashamed, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. It's stupid, I know, but when things started shifting, I thought maybe I had done something. Maybe I wasn't doing enough around the house. Maybe my grades dropping last semester stressed them out. Maybe I wasn't being a good big brother. I even Googled how to tell if you're the reason your parents are fighting. I started being extra careful, washing dishes without being asked, keeping my headphones on so they wouldn't hear my music, pretending not to hear the quiet arguments at night. But nothing changed. And that's when the guilt turned into fear. Because it wasn't about me. It was them. And I couldn't do anything to stop it. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I was just getting water late at night. They were in the kitchen, whispering. Mom said, "It was one time, and I told you. I told you because I couldn't live with the lie." Dad didn't say anything back, just stood there. My heart started pounding. I didn't understand everything, but I understood enough. She cheated. And in that moment, the floor under my childhood cracked. I went back to my room, closed the door quietly, and sat on my bed in the dark. Not crying, not even thinking. Just listening to the world change without a single scream. I waited. Not because I was worried he was lost, but because I wanted to believe he'd walk back through the door like he always did. He didn't. Mom told us in the morning that Dad needed some space. She said it like she was announcing the weather. Dry, distant. My little brother asked if Dad was mad. She just said, "He'll be back." But something about her face scared me. Not because she looked sad, but because she didn't. I made my brother breakfast. I didn't eat. I just kept watching the front door. And that was the first time I felt like the adult in the house. Like I was the one holding everything together with tape and silence. It was the next morning. He came in quietly. No suitcase, no yelling. Just walked into the kitchen, poured coffee, and stared out the window. Mom didn't say a word. Neither did he. It was like watching two strangers who used to know how to hold hands. Now, they couldn't even look at each other. I wanted to ask where he went. I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to shake both of them and say, "You're breaking us, not just each other." But I just sat there, eating cereal next to my brother, pretending like nothing was wrong. Because pretending was the only thing any of us seemed good at anymore.
That was the hardest part. Not the betrayal, not even the distance, the silence. No one sat us down to say, "Here's what's happening. Here's what it means. It's not your fault."
They just kept moving through the motions, driving us to school, making dinner, asking about homework, like our family wasn't collapsing in slow motion. I'd catch Mom crying in the laundry room. I'd hear Dad pacing in the garage late at night. But by morning, it was all smiles again. Tight, tired smiles that didn't reach their eyes. And I remember thinking, if they won't talk to us about it, maybe we're not worth explaining it to.
At first, I blamed Mom. She was the one who cheated. She broke the rules. She hurt Dad. Easy math, right? But then I watched Dad shut down. He barely spoke to her, barely spoke to us. He came home late, ate dinner alone, started treating the house like a hotel with kids in it. So I started resenting both of them for being selfish, for ruining what we had, for expecting me to hold it together for my little brother when they couldn't even hold a conversation. I didn't want to pick sides, but they made it impossible not to. And deep down, I hated that I still missed how it used to be, even though I knew it was never coming back.
They sat us down on a Sunday. We were all on the couch, like it was some kind of family movie night, except no one smiled. Dad spoke first. He said they needed time apart, that it didn't mean they didn't love us, that none of it was our fault. I almost laughed. Too late for that. We'd already been carrying the weight for months. My little brother cried. I didn't. I just asked, "So who's moving out?" Mom's face broke for a second. Dad looked at the floor. They didn't answer, and that silence said more than anything else ever could.
It was Dad. He moved out 2 weeks later. No drama, no yelling, just cardboard boxes, duct tape, and too many awkward silences. He let us help him pack, which somehow made it worse. I handed him a photo frame of the four of us at the beach. He looked at it for a second, then put it face down in the box. My little brother made him a drawing the night before, a house with all of us inside. He left it on the kitchen table. It was still there after Dad left. That's when it hit me. He wasn't just moving out of a house. He was moving out of our story. And none of us knew what came next.
Then came the schedule. Monday to Wednesday with Mom, Thursday to Sunday with Dad, alternate weekends, shared birthdays. Like we were furniture being passed back and forth, handled, tracked, timed. At Dad's place, it was too quiet. At Mom's, it felt too forced. They both tried. New routines, special just us dinners, sudden interest in our school projects. But it was like watching two people audition for the role of still a good parent. They weren't bad. They were just tired, guilty, worn down. And in trying to prove they hadn't ruined our lives, they kind of forgot to ask us how we really felt. Every time someone asked how I was doing, I'd say, "I'm fine." Because if I did tell the truth, that I was angry, confused, heartbroken, they'd just look guilty. And I didn't want their guilt. I wanted my parents back. So I became the mature one, helped with my brother's homework, kept my grades up, laughed at Dad's jokes, said, "It's okay, Mom," every time she apologized for something small. But inside, I was exhausted, like I was carrying everyone's emotions in a backpack I couldn't take off, and no one even noticed how heavy it had become. There wasn't a big moment, no final scene where everyone cries and hugs. It just faded. Holidays became complicated. Group chats turned into 2 chats. Photos got cropped. They stopped mentioning each other completely, like the past had to be erased for them to move on.
but I remembered everything. How Dad used to carry Mom to bed when she fell asleep on the couch. How she used to pack his lunch with little notes. How he used to be one. Now it was like reading two different books. Same characters, different endings. And no matter which page I turned to, it didn't feel like home anymore.
I see couples now, holding hands, laughing, saying forever, and part of me wants to believe them, but another part just hears a ticking clock. I don't say that out loud. People call it cynical. I call it being a kid who watched love bleed out slowly, while everyone smiled and said, "We're doing what's best." Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever fully let someone in, or if I'll always keep a part of myself protected, just in case they decide to leave too. Because if they couldn't make it work, two good people who tried, what chance do any of us have?
My mom is trying to find herself. My dad is trying to rebuild. And I'm somewhere in between. Just a kid who grew up faster than I was supposed to. They both tell me they love me, and I believe them. I do. But love didn't stop them from breaking each other. Love didn't stop the silence, the distance, the goodbye. So now, I carry pieces of both of them. My mom's ache to feel seen, my dad's quiet sadness, my own questions about what it all meant. We're not the same family anymore. Maybe we never will be. But I'm learning to feel whole again, on my own terms, with my own voice. And maybe that's how healing starts, not by forgetting what happened, but by surviving it.